Alright, welcome back. We're into lesson 2. Before we start, let's review our learning goals. And ultimately the goal of this Unit 3 quadratic expressions is to interpret and solve questions related to quadratic relations. And I know I've met my learning goals if I can use problem solving skills to create and solve equations that involve binomial expressions. Also what we looked at is here's some evidence of learning, and at this stage, if you're good and understood what was going on in the first lesson, you should be able to solve this problem, as well as you may be able to solve this problem here, even just using your skills from the first unit. These other two, the second and the fourth question, are a little bit more complex, and they'll take a little bit more practice from the last lessons in this unit before you can do those. So let's progress onwards. Just start with what we can review. If you got what was going on in the first lesson, then you should be able to do these expressions here, and we're expanding and simplifying. And here's a shortcut which we're introduced to, whereas if we got x plus a times x plus b, and these are binomials, then it is equal to x squared plus a plus b, x plus b, a, b, where it's the multiplication of these two numbers at the end. At this point, I'd encourage you to pause and try and do these three, expand and simplify these three binomials that are multiplying binomials, and check your answer. So pause for a few minutes, try and do those, we'll check. So just to review, you could use also FOIL, first inside, outside, last, or you could also use the couples method. Whichever method works is good. So x times the x is x squared. You have to pick the method that always works best for you. The x times the minus 4 is minus 4x. And we've got the 2x, 2 times the x is plus 2x. And the 2 times minus 4 is minus 8. There we've expanded, and now we simplify by collecting like terms. These terms here can be combined, but the other ones can't. X squared minus 4 plus 2 is minus. My eraser. Let's try and do that again. It'll be minus 2x minus 8. With this next one, I'm going to use a shortcut. Is equal to, well, the first one would be x squared. 3 plus minus 4 is minus 1x. 3 times minus 4, that's AB, minus 12. We don't have to write the 1 because anytime that we have 1 times x, it's just x. This last one we can't use a shortcut for because it's got this y. So we actually have to expand it the long way. X times x is x squared. X times minus 3 is minus 3x. Y times x is plus xy. I usually put my x first, just like the alphabet. And y times minus 3 is minus 3y. And this cannot be simplified any further because this xy, the x, the 3y, they are all unlike terms. Let's move on to our next set of slides here. We're going to look at special products to start. We're in Unit 3 quadratic expressions. And our learning goals for this: expand and simplify second degree polynomial expressions using a variety of tools, something that we've been already looking at before, except we're going to change up what we're expanding and simplifying. And notice here we've got these x plus 2 exponent 2. So I know I have met my learning goals if I can expand and simplify expressions like these ones down here. You've also got this x plus 4 times x minus 4, this 3x plus 2 times 3x minus 2. And even in a further extension, this here is vertex form. And this last question, a square has a side length of 2x plus 3, create a simplified expression. So again, if you can do all these questions at the end of all this, it's a pretty good indication that you've learned what was intended for this lesson. So remember here, the big picture that we also looked at was that we're changing between the forms, and so by the end of this, you should be able to go from the vertex form to the standard form of quadratic equation. And that can be really useful later on when you need to answer questions that are application questions based on this stuff. Here are some of the key concepts of this lesson, and this is what we're going to go through. Whenever we got something in the form of this a plus b, where's my highlighter? Oh, it doesn't want to highlight. Oh, I just got to push harder. Whenever we got this a plus b squared, it's going to be equal to these things here. And I'd recommend that you put this into your notes. A squared plus 2ab plus b squared, and then on the other side we got this a minus b and then the squared, and it equals to a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. And then we've got these other things here. These are just special products. That's what we call them. Special products, where we're having special cases. But this will be extremely crucial when you get to if you're planning to go to 3M or 3U, grade 11 courses, you're going to need to know these very well. And shortcuts really do save you time and also allow you to see some connections that you may not necessarily see otherwise. So we're going to start with example 1, which is expand and simplify. And it's like we're writing this out like this, which is x plus 3 times x plus 3. And we could just use our regular rules to do this. Sometimes I feel, as a teacher, 3 plus 3 is 6. We can use our shortcut rules. Plus 3 times 3 is 9. And there it is, expanded and simplified. As a teacher, I sometimes find that I don't necessarily have to teach this lesson because you can already see things like this. And it's pretty straightforward. But it gets a little bit more complex when we look at these ones. And if we go back one slide, maybe we can see, well, what's happening here. Well, this is a plus b, and we've got this 2ab in the middle. So let's take a look. If we're to multiply these, we'd get minus 2x times minus 3 is minus 6x. So if we're right, then in the end we should have 2 times 6 is minus 12. And we've got minus 12x. So let's just see if this shortcut works. This is what we should have in the end. 2x times 2x is 4x squared. And we said that the middle term was going to be minus 2ab. ab is 2x times the minus 3 is minus 6. And times by 2 is 12. Minus 12x. And then on the end is that b squared should be plus 9. So let's go check to see if we were to expand using FOIL or couples method, if this will work out. So we'll just rewrite this in a little bit bigger form. 2x times 2x is equal to 4x squared. 2x times minus 3 is minus 6x. 3 minus 3 times 2 is minus 6x. Minus 3 times minus 3 is plus 9. Collect like terms. That's equal to 4x squared minus 12x plus 9. So indeed, we see that it does work where we use the shortcut, multiply these times by 2 is the middle term, and this thing on the end squared is the last term. It works, so we could use that shortcut too. This one, if we were to go back a slide, this is a plus b times a minus b. We should be able to see that it's a squared minus b squared. So if we're good, what does that mean? If we're good, then that means that this is going to be x squared minus 4 times 4 is 16. We can also expand out just to prove that point. X times x is x squared. X times minus 4 is minus 4x. 4 times x is plus 4x. Those will cancel in the end, you can see that. And 4 times minus 4 is minus 16. These are gone. Minus 4 plus 4 is 0. So that would be equal to x squared minus 16. So it does work. It does work. Let's try it with this one. Just using the shortcut, then it should be 3x squared minus that 2 squared. I put them in brackets to emphasize that this 3x is the whole thing. So it's not like it's just 3 and then x squared. That 3x times 3x, 9x squared. 2 times 2 is minus 4. It's 9x squared minus 4 using our shortcut. So as with all math, you got some try it yourself questions. I encourage you at this point to pause the video and try and use what you've just learned to expand and simplify these 4 expressions. So if we've done this correctly, let's just take these up now. This will turn into x on the right, x squared, and in the center we've got 2 of these 4s, and we keep this minus sign, minus 8x. Minus 4 times minus 4 is plus 16 on the end. So we should be able to do this in one step. This one here, got this 3x the front, and we've got this plus 2 times these things, 3x, and we've got this minus 2, and then we've got this plus b squared, which is 2 squared. And so this will be equal to 3 times 3 is 9, x squared. 2 times 3 times minus 2, what's 6? That's going to be minus 12x. On the end here we've got this plus 4. One thing I can say is as you practice this more, you should be able to do these in one step if you can do the math mentally in your head. Here we've got this x squared minus, let's make that nicer, x squared minus 3 squared, which would be equal to x squared minus 9. And down here we've got this, we've got an a plus b times a minus b, so that's 2x squared minus b squared, which is 3 squared. And this will be equal to 2x times 2x is 4x squared, and 3 times 3 is minus 9. At this point, if you've been able to do that, you should be able to accomplish these questions. Again, with math, math is not a spectator sport. You've got these questions to do, which is your classwork homework, and you're encouraged to do the more you can do, the better it is for you. Thank you so much for watching.